Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll be discussing a new topic, that is kinds of quadrilateral. So what are the different kinds of quadrilateral, or you can say the different types of quadrilaterals? We'll be discussing about this. So let us begin. Based on the nature of the sides or angles of a quadrilateral, it gets special names. Now we know a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles, but the quadrilaterals, these sides and angles can also differ. So depending on that, the naming of the quadrilateral is done. So let us see what is the first one. First one is trapezium. This all you have got it in your earlier classes. Still, let us see what is a trapezium. A trapezium is a quadrilateral with a pair of parallel sides. Now only one pair of parallel side is there and one pair of non-parallel side. So let us see from the diagram. We can see these two sides are parallel, although these two sides are non-parallel. Similarly here also these two sides are parallel, here also two sides are parallel. So you can say when there is only one pair of parallel side, it is a trapezium. Such type of quadrilateral is a trapezium. But these are not trapeziums. This is not even a quadrilateral. This has 5 sides. Yeah, this doesn't have any parallel sides. There should be at least one parallel side in a trapezium. Clear? Now next is a kite. We all know we love to fly kites. So we have seen the shape of the kite. So imagining that, let us see the definition. A kite is a special type of a quadrilateral with exactly 2 pairs of equal consecutive sides. There are 2 pairs of equal consecutive sides. So there are 2 pairs of sides which are equal, and these 2 pairs of sides are consecutive sides. Let us see from the diagram. You can see here this side AB and AD are consecutive sides, and these 2 consecutive sides are equal in length. That's what the definition says. Similarly, another pair is there, BC and CD. These are also consecutive sides and these are equal in length. Clear? But these are not. So it should have a pair of consecutive sides, you can say, and there are exactly 2 pairs. Obviously in a quadrilateral there will be 2 pairs of sides, and these 2 pairs are, you can say, each pair is a consecutive side and each of the consecutive sides are equal in length. Now next, moving on, next is a parallelogram. This is the most common quadrilateral. So let us see the definition. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel. Yes, this is the basic definition. You can say a parallelogram is a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel. Clear? So how many opposite sides will be there? We will see that. Now let us see. These are the opposite sides, AB and CD, AD and BC. These are the opposite sides. So there are 2 pairs of opposite sides, and these are what? These are parallel. They are equal or not? That is not our concern at the moment, but they are parallel. They have to be parallel. Only then we can say they are parallelogram. Clear? This is the basic definition. But these are not, you can see. So that's it in the parallelogram. Now next, moving on, is the elements of a parallelogram. Elements means what are the components? What is a parallelogram made up of? Obviously it is made up of 4 sides and 4 angles. That means 2 pairs. And some of them are equal also. We'll come to that. So this is a parallelogram ABCD. Now first thing is that the sides AB and DC form an opposite side. Yes, just now a few seconds ago we have discussed that AB and CD are opposite sides, then AD and BC are opposite sides. So there are 2 pairs of opposite sides. Similarly, there are 2 pairs of opposite angles. Angle A and angle C, angle B and angle D. These are opposite angles. So there are 2 pairs. They are equal. Now there are also adjacent sides. This AD, AB, then BC, CD, then DA, AB. So there are, you can say, 4 adjacent sides. Adjacent means neighboring sides. Right next to that side is the adjacent side. Similarly, there are adjacent angles also. Angle A, angle B will be adjacent. Angle B, angle C will be adjacent. Angle C and angle D will be adjacent. Angle D and angle A will be adjacent. Clear? Now next one is, so these are the elements of parallelogram. It has opposite sides, it has opposite angles, it has adjacent sides, and it has adjacent angles. Now next is the properties of a parallelogram. This is very important because if we don't know these properties, then we will not be able to solve the problems which are related to parallelogram. So the first property is, this is the parallelogram that we will discuss. These are the diagonals. We already know what are diagonals. AC and BD are the diagonals. There are two diagonals of a parallelogram. So first property is, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are of equal length. So the opposite sides of a parallelogram are of equal length. So that means we have to show that any of the opposite sides, say CD and AB, are equal. So to prove this, what I have to do is that we have to consider two triangles. Then we have to show the congruency of those two triangles, and through the congruency we can use the congruent parts and then show them as equal. So in this case, we can follow any of the congruency rules. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to follow this only. In a textbook, there is given one of the congruency. You can write your own. You can use a different congruency and show it. But yes, it should fall under the congruency rule. We know what is the congruency rules of the triangles. So in this case, according to your textbook, it is given angle side angle. So what they have considered this triangle ABC and ACD, and there it has been shown that this side AC is the first angle side angle. So first we will consider an angle. This angle, there it has been shown that this angle DAC and angle ACB are equal because alternate interior angles. Then AC is the common side. Then another angle is angle BAC and angle ACD. These are the alternate interior angles. So by angle side angle, these are congruent, and since they are congruent, then obviously the sides are also equal. That is CPCT, congruent parts of congruent triangles, corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So by that, these and these are equal. So proved. Now next one is the opposite angles. Here also same thing. The same congruency, the same method is to be used. Only in the last, what I have to show is that you have to consider these two triangles only, and even the congruency elements are also same. Angle side angle, congruency you have to use here. Then here what we will show is that this angle will be equal to this angle by CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangles. That's all you have to show. It is exactly the same. Now next, the adjacent angles. Yes. Adjacent angles are what? This and this, this and this. We have already known it. Now, how will you show it? Say you extend it upwards and we extend it downwards. Similarly here and here also. So that, and other sides as well, so that it forms a transversal. We know what is a transversal. So it will form as a transversal. So if we extend it, we know that if we extend this part, then the angle formed here and the angle formed here will be what? Will be a linear pair. But before going to that, the angle formed here outside and this angle will be what? Corresponding angles. So this angle and this angle will be equal, and we know that corresponding angles form a linear pair. So that means this angle and that angle will be, we can say, it will be equal to 180 degree. Now since those two angles are equal, so we can substitute it in with that of this angle. Clear? So after substituting it, okay, I know this is very fast and this is very confusing at times. So say if we extend it, there will be an angle formed here outside. So this angle and this angle are what? They are corresponding angles. So they are equal. Clear this much? Now corresponding pairs, they form what? They form a linear pair. So you can say, since they form a linear pair, it will be equal to 180 degree. Then in place of that angle, we can substitute one of the angles and then it will be equal to 180 degree. So that's what you have to prove here, nothing else. So ultimately the adjacent, so we have to prove here that this and this angle are equal to 180 degree. You can try it out once. Although the proofs of these properties of parallelogram are not that important, but just for the sake of understanding, I am telling you all this. So it's not that important because this chapter is not based on parallelogram, it is based on quadrilateral. So the main thing is that we should know the properties very well, because using these properties we can solve the examples or any other problems that is being given in your textbook. So next, moving on, the last property, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Here you have to consider this angle, this triangle COD and AOB. So here you can see, again here also you can use any of the congruency rules, but according to your textbook it is given that, but what I have to show here is that, first let me say what you need to prove here is that AO and OB will be equal to OC and OD. That you have to, AO and OC will be equal, that is OA or AO, whatever you say. AO will be equal to OC and OD will be equal to OB. This you have to prove. Then only you can say it bisects the diagonals. So here this side and this side was opposite sides, so they are equal. Then again this angle and this angle are alternate interior, and this angle and this angle are alternate interior. So by that you can prove it, angle side angle. You can also prove angle also, if you consider this and this as the vertically opposite angles. So any method you can use or any congruency rule you can use, and ultimately after these two triangles are shown congruent, then obviously this side and this side will be equal, this side and this side will be equal by CPCD. So that's it then in this video. So please go through the examples, solve the examples by using these properties, then go through what I have taught today in this topic in the textbook. It will be much more clearer to you. So that's it then. I hope you all have understood it. Thank you and have a nice day.